Hey, so there's a new form of fraud that's on the uptick, and most brokerages don't have a way to defend against it. And I want to share in this video how you can protect yourself either with Fidelity or Charles Schwab, are the only two brokers that I know of that can defend against this issue. So, what is the fraud? There's a system called Automated Customer Account Transfer Service, or ACATS. And what it does is it's supposed to make moving money between brokerages really simple. So, what has happened in the past is if you switch to a broker, let's say you're moving from Fidelity to Robinhood, you go to Robinhood and you tell them that you're moving your accounts from another broker. And so you might want to move your Roth IRA or your traditional IRA or your brokerage over. And so that new brokerage, they start a transfer request and then they pull your money from your old brokerage. Well, what people have found out is that these fraudsters, they will create a brokerage in your name at a different new broker, and then they will initiate these transfer requests from your current brokerage and literally steal money from you. And so there's been a few forum posts of upticks where this has been shown to happen. And the challenge with this type of fraud is that it doesn't have a lot of security around it, because the things that you need to open up a brokerage are things like your social security and other personal information. The problem is, of course, a lot of this is online through all of the different data breaches that we're a part of. Your information is really out there. And so the challenge is if someone has your personal information, like your name and your social security and just some other basic information about you, then what stops them from opening up a brokerage in your name and then trying to do this transfer? Well, the one part is that they would need to know what the account number is for one of your retirement accounts, like a traditional IRA. So typically, the biggest defense against this fraud is to not ever share your account detail, because as soon as someone has that account number, they could potentially do this to you. What's crazy to me about this fraud is I understand that these systems are in place to make moving money between brokerages really simple and easy. And in a way, it's customer friendly, right? You just go to this other brokerage and you say, "Hey, I want to pull money over." But the problem is that you don't need to share like your existing login information or any other detail from your existing broker other than your personal information and the account numbers that you want to move. So, what do you do to help prevent someone from doing this to you? One is always keep your account number safe. But two, Fidelity was the first to release this. They called it the Money Transfer Lockdown. And I'm going to show you in this video actually how to enable it on your accounts. And what it does is it prevents any accounts that you enable from being pulled from. So the whole idea behind this fraud is someone's pulling the money from a different account and they're imitating you and pretending to be you when they try to do this. And by enabling this lockdown, you stop it from being able to be pulled. And the challenge with this type of fraud is that not many people look at their retirement accounts all that often. And what's been reported is that these fraudsters, they'll pull out little bits of money over time so that it looks like just a few shares going out, and it can be easy to overlook that money is actually being stolen from you. So let me show you how to turn on this feature from Fidelity to prevent this from happening to you. Okay, so first, when you log into your Fidelity account, you're going to go to Accounts and Trade and you're going to click that button. And then you are going to go to security settings. Now, the first thing that you'll see inside your security center is a list of suggested security tips for your account, and it'll give you a rating. And I'm actually going to be coming out with a video, maybe if I feel like it later tonight, to how to optimize security for an account. But this is just focused on money transfers. So on the right side of the screen, you're going to see something that says Money Transfer Lockdown. And all you're going to do is you're going to click on Add or Remove Accounts from Lockdown. Okay, and then when you're in the lockdown page, you'll see all of your Fidelity accounts listed, and then you'll have an option to select all eligible accounts to do the lockdown. And it's an immediate thing. So as soon as you lock it down, what it does is it prevents those accounts from having any type of outbound pull request to take money out of those accounts. Now, I did chat in with Fidelity today to clarify that you do have to be careful about this lockdown feature. So if you watch my cash management video, which has a ton of views now, incredibly, you don't want to enable this if, for instance, you have auto bill pay set up with a credit card and it's trying to pull money from that account. because it'll block those transfers, at least according to this rep. So I would enable the accounts like traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or a brokerage where you have money invested, that I don't have money being drawn out of them from an external source, but I just want to prevent this type of fraud. The cool thing about this feature is it's easy to turn on and off. So for instance, let's say you did want to make a transfer from one of these accounts to another brokerage or from one account to another. You just go in, you turn it off, and then you can make the transfer. So as far as I'm aware, Fidelity was really the first to come up with this feature, and then Schwab is one broker that you can use. I believe that you have to manually call them to activate this feature, but it is something that they can do if you request it. I don't believe that Vanguard has this at all, which was a little surprising to me because typically the big three, Vanguard, Schwab, and Fidelity, are usually running side by side with a lot of core features, of which I think this is a critical one. Just because for me personally, I think there's so much of our information's out there. And if the only thing that's really preventing this type of fraud is someone knowing the account number and your personal information, that doesn't leave me feeling really comfortable. And like I said, the other challenge is that a lot of your retirement accounts, like a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, you may not be looking at very often. And so if fraudsters are pulling out little bits of money at a time, and you're not going through all of your statements, it could take a while to catch on. And that's what's been reported in the cases where someone has claimed that this has been happening to them. I did see a note on Fidelity's lockdown page where they mentioned that they don't do workplace accounts or 401k lockdowns. For me, that's not really a concern because those aren't typically eligible for ACATS transfers because the workplace agreement is with the specific brokerage. Now, if you leave an employer, typically what will happen is your existing 401k is going to turn into a traditional IRA that you have the ability to move around. So if you have an old 401k that's converted to a traditional IRA, then that's something that I would lock down to make sure that it's not something that someone could do a pull request from. So I hope this has been helpful just to help secure your accounts. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to get back to them. And I hope you have a great weekend.